Well, to all those people who are joining me today for the interview, just to give you a brief, I'm going to interview Peach. She is a birth photographer, and I'm really excited to understand from her the nuances of her job. And yeah, hello to everyone. And yes, one more thing, I'll turn off the commenting section as you all know. But if you have any questions for Peach, you can drop me a message and I'll surely share your questions with her. I'm so excited.
Hi!
Hi, Peach.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
So good. It's
So,
been so long.
yeah, and Peach, just to make you feel comfortable, like I've turned off the commenting section, so it just feel like this is a video call, interview on video call, and that will work for both of us, right?
No worries. Yeah, thank you so much though for doing that. How are
So Peach,
you? By the way, sorry.
no, no, I'm good. I was in Ramkambalia for 2 months, and now I'm back to
Wow.
Ahmedabad. Yeah,
Good. You're back home.
back to work, and yeah, as usual.
That's
So,
nice.
so please, you tell me. I mean, how is the scene for photography? Because due to COVID, not many people would, want to have another person. How is it for your field?
For this in this time of our lives, it's not really. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. It's not going good. But
Yeah.
it's on a positive note. We are safe and we are healthy. So of course, the creative industry, some of us will take a halt, especially for our profession, which includes a lot of that
First contact.
interaction with people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's put on hold, but we are positive that it's gonna come up again slowly, slowly because the wedding season is approaching as well. So for us, we're just
Okay.
treating this like a downtime.
Okay. No, I
Yeah,
think Peach, the situation is same for every field, no matter you are in
I think so.
media
Yeah,
or
yeah,
automobile, whatever field you are in.
yeah. It's
And yeah,
true.
people are going through tough times, and I think that I'm doing such conversation with people from different fields, from people from across the globe, to just
Mm.
connect to them on a personal level, because this for the first time we all are in the same boat.
Yes, yes. Actually, we
Uh,
all are. Doesn't matter which industry you're
yeah.
from. We're all going through the same stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And when I recall that, when we met in Shamki Chai, you spoke about birth photography, and I was really eager to share your story with audience and, give a glimpse into your profession. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Hmm.
no, no, Peach. So to start with, tell me what drew you to birth photography? Because fashion or product or food photography is really common, but
Yeah.
something like birth photography is unconventional. When I posted our poster, there were many friends who told me that we didn't know that ऐसा कुछ भी होता है. They didn't know about birth photography.
Yeah. Well, basically, I just started it like a few years ago. Um, I'm basically into family portraits, lifestyle, child and family lifestyle portrait sessions. And the birth, I it was all inspired, I think, by a lot of things. I was very much drawn into situations, authentic situations, like real moments. And
Okay.
since I'm a very emotional person, I am very much drawn into, emotions as well. So, birth photography is for me there's a lot of reasons that I have started photography. One of them is to not just empower, yeah, to empower women basically, and to not only that, but also to document such a magnificent phase of a woman's life, giving birth to a
Yeah.
new life, So there's a lot of reasons to it. And also for me to portray something which I already am, because I'm
Hmm.
also a mom of two kids.
Must-
So
Yeah.
how I wish I had someone document my birth, but it didn't really happen. My husband and I are just living through our stories. I wish there were pictures to prove it, but yeah, and of course for also the kids to be reminded of the sacrifices. When they see the picture, they would be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is what my mom went through." and she's a badass. So these are the things that really inspired me and pushed me to yeah,
to put.
pursue birth documentary. Yeah, in the later years.
But but then considering Peach that India is little conservative when it comes to birth photography. I mean, I have not seen couples looking forward to documenting the child's birth. So how do
Yeah.
you navigate this field? I mean, how do you approach them, or how do they approach you?
It's more of me approaching, but I also try to pick the people whom I am approaching. I can sense I can sense someone's personality, or I can see someone's personality easily. I can read easily people, so I would know if, oh, this person is safe to ask, if they're open to, I would pitch in the idea, and I'll
Yeah.
gauge how they react, and from there I would know that, okay, I can still ask further more questions, like, are you interested, maybe, or then I would start showing pictures, and then I'd gauge the reaction while they're seeing those pictures of birth. And then, yeah, and then we'll start the conversation from there. So it's all about, I think, just gauging the person you're. It's in India. It's very difficult to find someone who will ask a photographer to do birth. I
Yeah.
later came to know that there are actually some. I know a few personal contacts that they wanted to do birth, but
Okay.
either that the doctors didn't allow them, or they didn't know that someone is doing that. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, and then for me, it started with people that I know, and the people that I have somehow a good relationship with, because it's a very
Yeah.
intimate scene inside the hospital. Labor is not a very fancy thing that most of us would want
Ah,
to see ourselves, but it's a very raw moment. And I get fascinated with all these things. So, yeah, I have to do the pitching in
yeah.
to the client,
But
or to the potential client. Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, rightly said that it's not very fancy thing like the childbirth.
Yes.
So how do you bring aesthetics, or how do you make it look pleasant and not painful when one sees the pictures? How do you know what's right and what's not right?
I think I think because I'm a very intuitive person, it really helps me a lot.
Okay.
Somehow I know what's gonna happen. Sometimes when I go to a shoot, my adrenaline is really, really high. So all my senses are open, so I get to see. I'm always one step ahead of everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but of course, a hospital is a different scenario. It's not my lead.
Yeah.
There are doctors there, and it's a very sacred place. It's a birthing space. So I have to respect that. So before, it's not like an event or a wedding where you own the place. Hospital is
Uh,
not my place. So I think it's very important to gauge the situation before jumping into anything, and coordinate and communicate with people whom you are working with. Yeah.
okay,
I
okay,
hope I
okay.
answered
Lovely.
the
That's
question.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I spoke a lot, and then
Yeah.
the words were wrong.
Yeah. But Peach, to just give some pointers, are there any things that you look into a picture that if it is bird photography, these are the things that you would want to make it a good picture?
Yeah,
I mean, would you?
from
Uh,
I
yeah,
do.
please.
You're basically asking, like, if I have, like, some photographers, they will have like a list of things that they wanna take photographs with. For
Yeah.
me, yes, I do. I do have, like, but I'm very emotion uh based. So some photographers, they, of course, photography is like light. It's light, right? We're talking about light. So yeah, of course, you need to have good light to be able to produce good photographs. Thankfully, not. I mean, not all our shots are perfect, because you're doing it in a very limited space. So thankfully, whatever I was able to capture. It didn't turn out as bad, technically speaking, but emotions are there. The things that I'm really looking for, um, uh, is there in the pictures that I'm also, photographing. So yeah. So yeah,
Okay, so I think just being intuitive and capturing emotions.
Yes,
will
yes.
be
I'm
the
always
key.
looking for emotions, and always looking for a lot of. If you go through my Instagram, you'll see a lot of hugging, a lot of touchy-feely moments, a lot
It's
of
very
intense
emotional.
moments. I'm looking for that intense moments, emotions like it's all in the face. You know, mom being in
Yeah.
labor. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for always in my photos. Yeah.
Uh, and Peach, have you ever, can you recall any of the incidences or requests or any incident around bird photography that you would like to share with us?
Not
This,
really. Sorry, what was the question? What
no,
moment?
uh, any incident that you would like to share of bird photography? I mean, you found something weird or something interesting, or that was a memorable moment. Anything that you would want to open up to?
I think in this one particular birth, not really big incidents, but I think it's more of, you know, how, for me, how men are not very, and these are not incidents like very funny or nothing big, but
Observation.
for me, these are small, small things that really matter to me. Incidents like there is this couple I shot who's the husband is not really keen on getting himself photographed.
Yeah.
But that moment, very, very intimate moment of their lives, I was allowed to do that. And he was just all out. For me, these are the incidents for me that I really look forward to in every shoot or every birth that I cover. People showing their emotions and just being themselves, those intimate times of their lives are the good incidents that I've always looked for. It's something that I feel are like the big things that have happened in that time.
Okay, okay. And Fish, do you have to put in extra efforts to not intimidate the doctors or the whole scene which is going on before you?
No, 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 no. I think it's very important to respect the doctors because they own that place. And I think without the doctor's permission, it won't be possible for us to be inside the theater room or the delivery room in the first place. So there's no such thing as intimidation. Normally, how it went through with my sessions is the mom would talk to the doctor and ask, there is this person who I want to capture my birth, and then they would ask me for references. So the first birth that I have done was not too difficult to talk to the doctor without any old work to show, because the doctor is like they have close relationships. So it was not easy to get the permission. But the following ones, we need to ask for permission and talk to the doctor. But
Okay.
no such thing as intimidation, nothing like that. It's for me, it's all about professionalism. Like I have to meet the doctor and ask, and what are the certain places where I can just be standing or I can be working with? What are the do's and don'ts? What are the protocols for me to do before I go inside the delivery room? And yeah, so things like that.
Yeah.
But it's very professional, and the doctors that I've worked with are really, really good so far.
Yeah.
Very
So
professional. Yeah, yeah.
have you done it in Ahmedabad
Yeah,
or
yeah,
in
just
which
in
city?
Ahmedabad. Just
Oh,
here in Ahmedabad. Yeah, 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 yeah.
so
It
which are
was
the
good.
hospitals that, if you can?
Um, I cannot really remember. The last one that I've done it with is at Munish, I think. Munish Hospital. It's a very beautiful hospital.
Manish
Somewhere
Hospital.
in Ambawari. I'm not so sure. I'm very bad with addresses.
Yeah.
And then the one that I knew, and the second to the last one that I did was uh, with Dr. Jayashree Shet.
Oh,
She's a very, very, very good doctor. She made me to stand inside the delivery room. She briefed me that these are the places you can only be standing at. And it was a very professional work.
professional.
Yeah, yeah. And I was told that if you're going to the cesarean birth, you're gonna be standing here, and if you're doing the vaginal birth, where you're gonna be standing here, because of course there are certain things that we don't want to
Yeah.
also show, So yeah.
And Peach, I mean, when it comes to say delivery, also takes time. I mean, so for how long is one session, and what are the charges? I mean, people would pay for doing birth photography, or is it?
Yeah, so the time that I've spent, normally I would instruct the client to call me once they start having labors. And that depends because there are clients who started labor in the morning and I'm being informed. So I need that communication. So normally, there's one, well, basically what happened is all birth that I've done is CS, being the first one was a planned one. The second one was actually supposedly a normal one, but the mom
Okay.
went on labor for a really long time. I'm not so sure, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's 12 hours or something, or more or less, but it was a long one. And she got exhausted, so eventually the doctor decided to just do the cesarean birth. And the last one was also a planned CS section. So yeah, so it depends. I would normally love to be there while on labor, depending on the time and the where she is in her journey through going to her birth. Um, but if it's just a CS, a planned CS, normally 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours until
So for
yeah,
three
that
hours, you are there.
yes, 3 to 4 hours, or sometimes that's the maximum that I've stayed. Not more than that
Okay.
because it's quite fast. Once the baby is out, they'll stitch up the mom, and the mom gets rolled inside the bedroom. I think after half an hour, and then the family
Okay.
comes half an hour. Then small pictures. So yeah, yeah, 3 4 hours max to max. Nothing more. But if it's a normal birth, I think it's different. And I would love to really capture a normal birth, hopefully, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
mean,
how.
also different kinds of birth, right? I mean, there is water therapy and there is the like
Yes.
normal ones in hospitals.
Yes, yes, the hypnotism. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of births now that have a lot of moms
Yeah.
I personally know have started doing home birth. And in India, there's a lot of in Ahmedabad itself. I think we have a few hospitals that offer water birth. Um, and then there is Gita. This is a pregnancy 101. They
Huh.
have a really good programs for prenatal workouts and all that for moms who are pregnant moms.
Yeah.
And they've been really quite successful and helpful for moms who wants to do normal birth. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Oh
It's
yeah, so
interesting.
it's for normal birth. It's gonna be the time is gonna be different. It's gonna be longer for sure, depending on the time of the labor.
Yeah.
The one of birth which it was supposed to go normal and turned out into CS. I was there for about 6 hours, I think, 6 to 7 hours in
Okay.
the hospital. Yeah, yeah, but it's okay. It's normal. You have to book your entire day for that.
I mean, even for weddings, you like a photographer stands for like hours and hours capturing the things, but here things are more intense, more
It's
intimate.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a chair to sit on. I mean, having gone through birth myself twice, being inside the delivery is still different. It takes a lot to see that if you're not a doctor, and I have no medical experience, and I hate, you know, all those doing that stuff. So it takes a
Yeah.
lot of balls to be there. But yeah, it's not also as bad, but yeah.
True. Yeah, no, no, I saw your pictures, the pictures that you clicked, and they're really aesthetic, really elegant, and really bring out the emotion. So yeah, I mean,
Thank
be it
you.
wedding or
You
birth
see the
photography, I think
pictures.
it's all about photography.
Sorry.
No, I just said that be it covering a wedding or covering
Yeah.
a birth, I think it's all about the photographer's skills that what you capture. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the passion also, I feel, and the drive, your motivation. I mean, your why is basically like, why are you taking that photo? What's your purpose? So for me, I'm more of, driven with my whys. Why am I doing this thing? Why am I doing birth photography? So yeah, and it takes years of experience also.
Yeah.
Birth photography just dawned in on me in the later part of my career, just like 2 3 years back. So no, actually 2016 I started, 4 years back. It's been a long time, but it's a very difficult market to penetrate. It's not
Yeah.
very easy to convince people to get in. I mean, to convince couples, to get into it, or to be a
Yeah.
part of it, take
And
part of it.
which on a superficial level, it looks like a field wherein, as a photographer, I will have to pay the couple instead of they paying me.
Yeah, there's no commission involved. No. It is a hard it's a difficult
Yeah.
market to penetrate because when I started, like when we started family portraits in 2013, the concept of outdoor photography was really, really new. So that's where we started. And then birth photography. And then I started, then, as a creative, you go through a lot of creative phases in your creative life. That's a lot of creatives, but I went through that. And I wanted something more authentic. I wanted something more meaningful. I wanted something that's purpose driven and empowering photographs. So the thought of doing birth and family photography, especially birth, because birth is very intense. You like for me, whenever I see a mom inside the delivery room, I see myself, and I put myself there. So
Yeah.
somehow it's like taking photographs of your own story, or how would you want your own pictures to be taken
Yeah.
so yeah, that's that. I put myself in their shoes. I see myself in that family, then I'll take those photographs.
But Teach, when you consider yourself a part of that family, when you are a part of that scene, so what's your state of mind? I mean, are you like you consider it as work, or are there times when you also feel a little emotional, or you get carried away by things? How do you feel?
It's zen. It's like photography. It's like people, right? So yoga for them is
Yeah,
meditation. For me, I like to be. This photography, looking through that lens, is very much very zen
it's
feeling.
magic, right?
Yeah, it's very peaceful. I don't know. I cannot explain it, but maybe some people
Okay.
can relate to it. But with photography at least, because every
Yeah,
photographer came from different walks of life and they have all
yeah,
reasons to be in the photography field. But for me, the way I see it, I'm not working. I'm working, of course. I have to be very professional. It's very important to be very professional while doing
yeah.
something that you really love. I think that brings it up to a different level. And but yeah, it's for me, it's nothing more than just very professional, but at the same time, you're getting paid doing
Okay.
what you love. Yeah, but it's
Okay.
very peaceful. It's a very peaceful
I
feeling
think
for me.
for you it's a mix of both. I mean, it's work also, and it also, I mean, makes you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
So,
and
yes.
Peach, if you could also tell us then how does one become a bird photographer? I mean, what one should learn, which are the skills that one should work on, or how does one approach couples? I mean, there must be so many aspiring photographers who would want to pursue this field, but they have no clue. I mean, many institutes teach fashion photography, but I think there is
Yeah.
nothing for bird photography.
I think for birth, you just need basic technical skills, because
Okay.
once you're inside the hospital, I don't think it's a good idea to bring your flash. You have to work on with whatever lights you have. Technical skills, yes, do. Basic is okay.
Okay.
You'll survive. You need to just be in the moment. For photography, I think you need to be in the moment. You need to be very mindful of your surroundings and uh, that includes the people around you. You need to the doctors, all the different doctors that I've worked with would always tell me you need to have candy inside. Do you need to have a candy? Because they might think that I might faint inside the delivery room, but it never happened. Yes, you need to have you need to have a very strong, a courageous heart to go inside. It's a different scenario inside. If you're not a
Someone like me would
doctor,
faint.
I still, once they slice it up, especially with, since I have not seen normal birth yet, I've seen a lot of pictures, all right? I'm
Huh.
not new to it, but it's different when you're there in the situation. So you need this. You need that very courageous heart to be inside to survive that 10 minutes, whatever is happening there inside the delivery room. And you need the presence of mind also
Yeah,
to
I think
relax
that's very
and
important.
yeah,
Yeah,
but nothing
especially
else.
because
Technically, you cannot
you
bring
can't tell,
anything there.
yeah, and you can't tell anyone to pose like generally in other weddings
No.
or fashion. You can tell someone to pose, but here nothing is in your
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. And you need
Yeah,
to, as a birth photographer, it's very important to respect. the place where you're working, because like I said earlier, it's not your it's not your area. It's you're not the boss there. In like in a wedding that hey, I own this place. At hospital is no, it's not your place. So it's very important to respect that place and to respect the wishes also of the doctors, because in birth you need a good discipline as a birth photographer as well.
Yeah.
Because you will only be given one place. You will have two choices, but you should only pick one, and you have no choice. You
Okay.
have to only pay. And there was one time where I was not even allowed inside the delivery room. So while they were slicing, the light is there. I had to take my lens. I have to work it out. So it is, yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
ball game. Yeah.
Okay. And then, Peach, when I look at it from a societal point of view, like I have seen people, I've seen families who wouldn't want a male doctor for their daughter-in-law, who wouldn't want a male doctor for their daughters. I mean, they would
Mm.
consider female gynecologist, female doctor over a male one. And now, couples even allowing or experimenting with birth photography. I think that's interesting. I mean, how they would want to capture it. They are becoming more open. So it also says about the progressive set of mind which is slowly coming in place.
I would say it would still take a while, but yes, it's there. It's there, and
Okay.
especially I think this is just my experience, and I'm just only talking to my whatever. I mean, for myself, that I somehow noticed that when it comes to the ground, or when it comes to what do you call this, the actual work. See, when you run a business, photography business, most of the time business owners would think that it's a male,
Yeah.
but when you start shooting families, birth, even brides or whatever, I noticed that there's more people are more comfortable with women. So
Yeah.
it's not, I don't know if that connects with your question, but people are opening up, but it takes time. It still
But
takes
it takes
time.
time.
It's there. They are opening up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
I
then,
hope I
do
got
you
your
also
question
think,
right.
huh? Yeah,
I
I
hope I
mean,
got your
yeah.
question right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you did get my question. I was just more than a question. I was just stating an observation that I think this is how it has happened. But yeah, you said true, true. And bird photography is a profession. But still, I mean, just because you are a mother and you are a
Hmm.
woman, do you think that works in your favor? I mean, if I were a male photographer wanting to do the same thing that you are doing, then I would get more no's than you.
Sorry, I would get what?
No, no, I would get more rejections than you will.
Ha. I think it depends on the comfort level of the parents or the
Of course.
couple. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Because I know there, I mean, majority are female in the birth photography world, but I don't think,
That
yeah,
the
I
gender
mean,
would
it's
be
a,
what.
yeah. People are more comfortable only because I think, yeah, you represent I mean, the presence of a woman is different inside
Yeah.
that area, inside
Inside.
that place. So yeah,
Huh.
there is a lot of difference. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Interesting. And then, how do you see its future? I mean, are there any predictions? Do you think that certain things will change? This will not change when it comes to birth photography?
I think it will take a little time. India will take time. I think because we are
Inter-
very rooted to our culture, and the people are very here. Some people are very private here. It took a lot of years for people to, start in fact posting pictures in their social media,
Yeah.
having social media account itself. Sometimes it takes time for some people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it might not also work as huge as how it is in US or in some other countries, but I do know there is a market for that. There's a market for birth. There are parents who really wants to capture this phase in their lives, especially parents who have been working so hard to have children for
Yeah.
many years. They would. I have because see, I meet a lot of parents, and even parents who have already given birth have told me that I wish I knew that you were a birth photographer because I would have done it on my time and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a market for it, but um, documentary, especially specifically birth, will take time. for
Okay.
India to open up. It will take a lot of years. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything, but there's a good market for that.
Okay. And Peach, tell me about those parents. Like, who are those
Hmm.
people? Because once we know who are these people, it gives us an idea, like which strata of people. I mean, are they educated couples, or I mean,
Yes.
something about their personality. Like, who are these people?
I think okay, most of the people that I photograph really love photographs. Really love to be
Okay.
photographed in their lives. So these people who would go for documentary are the ones who really share the same views
Mind
like me.
space,
Views might, yeah, we're in the same wavelength. You know, like
same way.
I would really like photographing people in their natural environment. And I personally love capturing the rawness, of children. So children crying, children who are messy. I love that. I love the entire normal vibe in the house. I love capturing, create a story out of it. So these are the clients that are also wanting to get it done. People who are wanting more authenticity in their photographs, people who have very deep reasons that they really want
Yeah.
to get it done. Yeah. So yeah,
So,
so
uh, so no, do you think that they are mostly educated couples and mostly
yes,
from a higher income group?
very much, very much, very much, because these
Okay.
are really I cannot. Yeah, I think they know. Like one, I think I have posted some photos. So they're good people, very, very, very good, educated ones. Yeah. So I think it's
Okay.
there. It's there. It's just that some people are sometimes also scared by the way that the photographs will go online and some stuff. So it depends on
Yeah.
how the situation is and how the talk is going on with the or how the agreement is gonna be like between the photographer and the couple. But yeah, these are
Okay. Okay.
good people, very open-minded
No, no.
ones. Hmm.
No, no, Pete, I just hope that, like pre-wedding photography, I hope, that bird photography also become as common in India. So
I
more
hope
people celebrate.
so. I hope so because birth for me is a very. I have so many reasons why I've started doing it actually, and it's not just that. It's very nice to. I can share one story about my kids where I can only
Uh-huh.
just tell them the stories of how I gave birth to them, and it's. I think they still keep asking me again and again how they got into this world. And I have no
Uh-huh.
photos to show. So, see, photographs, people will only realize it when some things have already passed on or moved on. Like weddings, how important are. We're like like weddings, births are also important. In fact, it's bigger than wedding because it's you're bringing a life into this world. You're having a child. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, but then again, given this, it's a new thing. No, not everybody is very comfortable of sharing their private or intimate lives. Intimate in the sense like birth is a very intimate and sacred thing. So not a lot of people are very comfortable having someone around. So that photographer should also shoot in a way that the person should not feel that there's a photographer. So yeah, that also takes is required, by the way. I'll add that to the list that you have asked earlier. I forgot that.
Yeah, and I think that parents will always have some pictures, something to show to the kids when they ask that, how did I come to this
Yes.
world?
Yes, I wish I did because my son, especially, is very sentimental. He keeps, when we go to sleep, he keeps asking, like, Mommy, so, you remember when you gave me birth? How did you do that? So, did you cry? Did you look at me? But I have these pictures in my Facebook. It's there. Like, I would show it to him. Like, this is how I first saw you and all this stuff. But I wish, like, someone else was taking it from me. How it never happened. But yes.
Yeah, but someone could not take click pictures for you. But tell us that how many birds that have you captured?
Not much. I think I
Not
have
much.
done, luckily I have done three or four.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
much. Birth is not something that is a person can voluntarily come to you and say, I want to do this. And um, it's very difficult to start because you need to really approach someone shamelessly and ask them. I have
Yeah.
done that many a times, but
Okay.
you have to keep an open mind that a lot of people will say no because it's a very, not everyone is the same, but nobody will ever approach you unless, somebody sees this interview and they, hey, somebody's doing it. Other than that, no, it's not much. It's a very difficult
Which,
market to
which,
penetrate.
as I told you before, I'll be your first client someday if I get.
I look forward to that. But first, you just keep doing this interview because it's really good.
I have covered most of the questions that we discussed, but if there is anything else that you would like to tell people about birth photography, any misconceptions that you would like to throw some light on, or on anything that I missed out on?
I think most of the misconception is well, it's not some. Yeah, some I'm gonna highlight, especially like, oh, I'm gonna look gross in the picture because I'm gonna be on my doing my labor, and it's gonna be bloody pictures. No, nothing like that. Of course, when the baby comes out, there will be blood, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
desaturate that picture. But
Yeah.
um, that's a very wrong thing to think about, and but I respect it. I respect those things that are in their mind because it's very new, and if you don't know the person you're working with, and if you don't have not seen any portfolio previous work about birth, then it takes a lot of trust, and I really thank you, all these people who have trusted me to have done this birth, because it takes a lot of balls to also trust your photographer to do it for you in a way where it's not scandalous and it's still timeless. I'm not saying that my is really good. It's not fancy, but it's not as bad as like what most
As
people
bad as
think.
people would think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a, and for me, I think one thing that I really appreciate the most during birth is the kind of support that people give here is amazing. I
Okay.
think coming from a country where um, uh, there's a lot of majority is in nuclear families. I really appreciate how families come together in the hospital to, before the mom goes to the delivery room and they're like full support. Not a lot, of course, but how
It's a
families are
family
joined,
thing.
and you get to
Yeah.
document that and see. Families also have a lot of family feuds and all that stuff, right? But when a child is something that brings everybody together, cannot deny that. And when a child is born, everybody forgets their problem because there's a new small thing, so cute that is in their face. So
Okay.
I like it's an honor for me to be able to capture that, and how I wish someone must have could have done that for me. But it's a huge moment, and for me, it's a very honorable thing, to be able to capture that moment. And that
Yeah.
I also like the relationship of the couple. I get to see that. I get to document it,
Yeah.
and it's great because sometimes you see couples who are not very much into PDAs, but that time you can see the intensity of support from the husband and the it's just really nice to be able to witness such things and be able to document them. So yeah, it's a very honorable thing to do, noble
Yeah,
thing
I
to
think
do as well.
it's very sacred. I mean, lucky you that you have been there and captured, got an opportunity to capture it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it's
more
a
power to
blessing.
human beings.
I hope, yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, for birth photography, it's not that the. Oh, by the way, some one of my friend whom I have also proposed this to have told me that they're scared because the photographer might bring a lot of flash. You know how some
yeah.
people have not
Might
come
create
off that old
disturbances.
ways, that oh, they're scared that, hey, wait, yes, yes, 1 2 3 post, they scared, they have that thinking, and I cannot blame them.
It's a mindset.
So yeah, it's not like that, nothing like that. If the photographer knows, but it's very important to listen to your photographer first, or to see how they work, and see the ethics, also work ethics of the person they're working with, because you cannot yeah, that's one thing that bothers them as well. And of course, but yeah, here in India, the doctor has the final say, um, to go about it or not, and they have certain limitations, and I respect that because that is I have there that's where their boundaries are, so that's okay.
Okay,
But yeah,
okay.
so these
No,
are the
I
things that
really.
I remember that I can highlight
Okay.
about the myths.
Yeah. No, I think these were really important points that you shared. I mean, also just you also give guidelines and what are the things that one should do and what are the things that one should avoid while doing,
Hmm.
because as you said, sensitivity, being sensitive, being
You
compassionate
have
is
to.
very important. Being
Yeah, I think you
professional in
have.
how you approach. Yeah, I think these are the things that which will really help all those people who are aspiring to take up bird photography in
Birth, yeah.
future. Yeah, and also
True.
other people like me who are just curious about the job that you're doing, Peach.
Yeah, yeah. It's a it's a road less traveled basically. I don't know. It's I've always wanted to. I'm not that person who would always go with the trend, but I always like to do something more that's a little different. So and more authentic for me at least. So birth is one thing that is, really have gotten to me. So yeah.
Nice. I'm
Hopefully.
hoping to see more such pictures. Hoping to see
Thank
more
you. I hope
aesthetics.
so. But given
Yeah,
this current scenario, it's a little difficult to
yeah.
go into the hospital. So yeah, it will take a little time again for it to pick up. But yeah, it's there. It's there. I hope
I
people
think
would start appreciating it.
everything will take time, but hopefully we'll get
Yeah.
back to shape in a couple of months. So let's see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. I'm crossing my fingers.
Anyways, Peach, thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
pages
too,
from your life.
Janvi. Yes, thank you so much, love. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good and hoping to meet you soon, Peach.
Yes, I hope so. Yes, I will. I will call you. I'll give you a call. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Once.
much, love. Take
Yeah.
care.
Thank
Yeah, bye-bye.